Greetings for the day. Welcome to another session of soft computing. In today's session, we're going to learn about the genetic algorithm and what are the things involved in genetic algorithms and why it is called a genetic algorithm and what are the uses of genetic algorithm and why genetic algorithm is been introduced in soft computing. Now, moving forward, as the definition says, a genetic algorithm is a search heuristic that is inspired by Charles Darwin's theory of natural evolution. This algorithm reflects the purpose of natural selection, where the fittest individuals are selected for reproduction in order to produce offsprings of the next generation. Now, what do you mean by this? This like genetic algorithm in the sense, like see, every other child has a feature of their parents, like some of the features of the father, some of the features of mother, plus its own features, so this is what we call as genetical order of the things. As the generation pass on, the genes in that particular child, it evolves, and the best among the genes will sustain, and it will give you the proper result in the upcoming type of things. In the same way, with reference to the algorithms and the input that we are giving, the fittest of the output will be taken into consideration. Now let's see what it says further. Genetic algorithm is a search-based optimization technique based on the principle of genetics and natural selection. So where it is based on the genetics and the natural selection. Like for an example, I give you an example of a child. The child has the property of the father as well as the property of the mother, plus it has its own properties. Now, like for an example, the mother is very hardworking, so it has got the hardworking feature, as well as the father is very energetic. So what you call as the child has got the features of mother as hardworking and the feature of father as energetic, plus its own feature like he is very wise, for instance. So what are the for genes that he is having, what are the genetics that he is having? He is hardworking, he is smart, and also he is very much wise. So this is what we call as the genetics of the things, or the genes of the things. The same thing applies over here in with reference to genetic algorithms. It is a search-based optimization technique based on the principle of genetics and natural selection. Now, what are genetic algorithms? Nature has always been a great source of inspiration to all mankind. Genetic algorithms are search-based algorithms based on the concepts of natural selection and genetics. Now, the genetic algorithm is a subset of a much larger branch of computation known as computation or evolutionary computation. Now, what do you mean by this evolutionary computation? In the sense, how the computers are being evolving one after the other, the second after the third, the second after the fourth after the fifth after the sixth. So it is getting involved. For instance, I'll give you an example. If at all, if you see the old pictures of a floppy disk or memory device, 256 KB of memory device was a size of a room. Now you have 30 GB of memory card in your phone, 1 TB of memory card in your phone, 2 TB of memory card in your phone. So this is how the things are being getting evolved. So it is a process of evolving, and genetic algorithm is a part of evolutionary computing. Now, genetic algorithms were developed by John Holland and his student at the college and colleagues at the University of Michigan. Now, most notable David E. Goldberg, and has been tried on various optimization problems with a high degree of success. Now, what it says, it was being developed by John Holland and his students and colleagues at the University of Michigan, and the most notable David E. Goldberg, and has since been tried on various optimization problems with a high degree of success. Now, moving forward, what is the difference between the traditional algorithm and genetic algorithm? Now, with reference to the Definition: genetic algorithms and algorithm for solving both constrained and unconstrained optimization problems that are based on genetics and natural selection, that are based on genetics and as well as on natural selection, whereas the traditional algorithms is an unambiguous specification that is a specification that defines how to solve a problem. Thus, this is the main difference between genetic algorithm and traditional algorithm. Now, with reference to the traditional and genetic algorithms, there are 2 or 3 mechanisms which are being involved in this. What are the things? It involves the genetic and natural selection traditional algorithm in an unambiguous specification that solves a problem. In the sense, see, in traditional algorithms, it takes a sequence of inputs and it tries to resolve that input and gives a proper output, whereas in genetic algorithms it resolves based on the input that it has already got. Based on that, it resolves the problem. Now we'll read it again so that it will be clear for all of us. Genetic algorithm is an algorithm for solving both constrained and unconstrained optimization problems that are based on genetic and natural selection, while the traditional algorithm is an unambiguous specification that defines how to solve a problem. Wherein, see, in unconstrained and constrained, both of things, but in traditional algorithms, only the traditional algorithm is being resolved with unambiguous specifications. Thus, this is the main difference between genetic algorithm and traditional algorithm. Now, with reference to the usage, the specific use of each algorithm is an important difference between genetic and traditional algorithm. That is, the genetic algorithm helps to find the optimal solution for difficult problem, while the traditional algorithm provides a step-by-step methodological procedure to solve a problem. This is the main difference. For instance, I'll give you an example of a friend with whom you are traveling. Like, you want to travel from Hyderabad to Mumbai. You are traveling from Hyderabad to Mumbai, and it is the first time by which you are traveling. You and your friend are traveling for the first time by car. So what you will be using? You will be using Google Maps. You will be using Google Maps. It will show you a step-by-step procedure how to solve that particular problem, or it will show you how to step-by-step procedure to execute that particular thing. Whereas if at all if your friend knows the route how to go to Mumbai from Hyderabad, then you need not take step-by-step procedure. If at all your friend knows everything, you can directly start the things. The same thing applies over here with reference to the traditional algorithm and with reference to the genetic algorithm. Traditional algorithm is that when you are traveling for the first time with your friend, and genetic algorithm is the one wherein you are traveling with your friend who knows everything prior to it. Now moving forward, what it says, what are the advantages of genetic algorithms? The first one is, genetic algorithms have various advantages which have made them immensely popular. These includes, like, the first one is, does not require any derivation information which may not be available for many real world problems. For instance, how to make some, like, there are some of the problems for which there is no algorithm, there is direct some of the implementation, there is directly some of the implementation. The second one is faster and more efficient compared to the traditional method. Like, it's obvious with reference to taking step-by-step procedure. If at all if you are directly following the path, then it is very much easier. Third one is, has very good parallel capabilities. The next one is, optimizes both continuous and discrete functions and also multi-objective problems. The next one is, provides a list of good solutions and not just a single solution. Why? Because as it is into different sections, different solutions will be given to it. As it has got many of the inputs into it, it has many of the solutions for one particular question. The next one is, always gets an answer to the problem which gets better over the time. Why? Because as it is genetical things, the more input you are giving, the more efficient the output of the algorithm will be. The next one is, useful when the search space is very large and there are a large number of parameters which are being involved. So for many parameters, this particular algorithm has got the advantage. Now moving forward, now what are the limitations of genetic algorithm? What are the different limitations with reference to genetic algorithms? Like any technique, genetic algorithm also suffers from a few limitations. These include genetic algorithms are not suited for all problems, specific or especially problems which are simple and for which derivative information is available. Now second one is fitness value is calculated repeatedly, which might be computationally expensive for some problems. The next problem is, or the next limitation is, being stochastic, there are no guarantees on the optimality or the quality of the solution. Like as it is based on the prediction type of things, see, every other thing has got its own advantages and disadvantages. When it comes to the advantages, there might be some advantages, but when it comes to limitations or disadvantages, some of the advantages might become a disadvantage. How? Why? Because see, if at all if you are calculating the computation value at every other time, then the cost of that project will get increased. So with reference to genetic algorithm, it calculates the cost at every of the iteration. It knows like what is the value that if you are getting after this particular instance. So this will increase the cost of the project. Now the next one is, if not implemented properly, the genetic algorithm may not convert to the optimal solution. It may not convert to the optimal solution. These are the limitations with reference to the genetic algorithm. Now let us consider, or let us know, what genetic algorithms and search spaces are. What are the search spaces and genetic algorithm? Now with reference to the search spaces, if you are solving some problem, we are usually looking for some solutions which will be the best among others, the special of all feasible solutions. It means object among those the desired solution is called the search space, or it is called the search space. In the sense, if you are solving a particular problem, we are looking for that particular solution. What if the best among the solutions are already been waiting for you to take the optimal solution from that? That is what we call as the search space. Like see, it's like, you wanted to do a mini project. So you have come up over here, sir, I want to do a particular project on this particular thing. I am getting confused. What should I do? So instead of you asking me, if I directly tell you this is a project which fits you the best, and these are the other projects which you all can look into it, so this will give you an optimal type of a solution. That is what we call as the search space. Now each point in the search space represents one feasible solution. Each feasible solution can be marked by its value of fitness for the problem. We are looking for our solution which is one point or more among feasible solution, that is one point in the search space. That is what we call as a one point in the search space. Like for instance, you started with the project, but you are stuck. Like, sir, where should I start? Like, I have an idea, but how can I implement this particular thing? So I'll give you 3 or more solutions. I'll give you 3 more solutions. I'll tell you, you can select one among the solution and I'll accept the project. So instead of you working hard and getting with some of the output and showing it to me, if I tell you like these are the things that I want in your particular project, and with these are the preferences that I want, then it will help you in maintaining that project quality, as well as it will help you in saving the time that you are spending on the project. This is what you call as the genetic algorithm and search space. Now moving forward, what it says, the looking for a solution is then equal to the looking for some extreme, minimum or maximum in the search space. The search space can be whole known by the time of solving a problem, but usually we know only few points from it, and we are generating other point as the process of finding solution continues. Like see, In genetic, like see in standard algorithm, what it happens, you give the problem, it resolves the problem step by step, it resolves the problem step by step. Whereas in genetic algorithm, you have a problem, for that problem there are n number of solutions. Now it's up to you which one of the solution you want to buy from it, you want to buy for that. So this is what you call as the search spaces in the genetic algorithm. The next point, it says the problem is that the search can be very much complicated. One does not know where to look for the solution and where to start. There are many methods how to find some suitable solution, that is not necessarily the best solution. For example, hill climbing, taboo search, simulated annealing and genetic algorithm. The solution found by this method are often considered as good solution because it is not often possible to prove which or what is the real optimum solution and which is the real optimum type of things. So this is what we call as the search space with reference to the genetic algorithm. Now the general, what do you mean by this general genetic algorithm? So what is the basic terminology? The basic terminology is with reference to the population. Now population, it is a population is the subset of all possible encoded solutions to the given problem, Now the population of genetic algorithm is an analogous population or analogous to the population for human being, except that instead of human beings we have candidate solutions representing human beings. So this is with reference to the population. The second one are the chromosomes. A chromosomes is one such solution to the given problem. What do you mean by this gen? A gen is one element position of chromosome. Now what is LA? It is the value of gen that takes for a particular chromosomes. The next one is the genotype. What do you mean by the genotype? Genotype is a population in a computational space or in a computation space. In the computation space, one solutions are represented in a way which can be easily understood and manipulated using a computing system. This is what we call as a genotype. Now what do you mean by this phenotype? Phenotype is a population in the actual real world solution space in which solutions are represented in a way they are represented in the real world solution. So these are the basic terminologies representing general genetic algorithm. The next one is with reference to the decoding and encoding, the basic terminologies. For simple problem, the phenotype and genotype space are the same. However, in most of the cases, the phenotype and genotype spaces are different. Decoding is a process of transforming a solution from the genotype to the phenotype space, while encoding is a process of transforming from the phenotype to genotype space. Decoding solution or decoding should be fast as it carried out repeatedly in a genetic algorithm during the fitness value calculation. Okay, this is what with reference to the decoding and encoding of the genotype and phenotype. Now we'll repeat it once again so that it will get into the thing. The phenotype and genotype spaces are different. Decoding is a process of transforming, decoding is a process of transforming solutions from genotype to phenotype space, while encoding is a process of transforming the phenotype to genotype space. This is with reference to the decoding and encoding of the genotypes and phenotypes. Now what do you mean by this fitness solution or this fitness function? The fitness function, simply defined is a function which takes the solution as an input and produces the suitability of the solution as the input or as an output. Okay, in some cases the fitness solution and the objective function may be the same, while in others it might be different based on the problem. So what is the fitness function? Fitness function is a function which is been defined in such a way where it takes the solution as an input and gives the suitable solution required as an output. So this is what we call as fitness function. Like see, though you are healthy, though you are active, but you may not be fit for that particular constable or SI job. Why? Because they have their own requirements. They have their own requirements. Though you are fit, though you are strong, though you fulfill all of the requirement details, but in some of the cases you may not fulfill that particular things. Whereas in the same thing with reference to the examination, you might be clearing your BTech examination, but still you might get failed in some of the interviews which are been conducted. Why? Because you are not the suitable solution for that company, not country, for that particular what you call as company. You might be fit for other companies which suits your ability the best. So this fitness function is used to define the functional values. The last one is the genetic operator. These alter the genetic composition of offsprings. This includes crossover, mutation, selection, etc. Now, what are genetic operators? What are the genetic operators? A genetic operator is an operator used in genetic algorithm to guide the algorithm towards a solution to a given problem. There are three main types of operators. The first one is a mutation, second one is a crossover, and the third one is a selection, which must work in conjunction with one another in order for the algorithm to be successful. Now, genetic operators are used to create and maintain genetic diversity. Mutation operator combine existing solution known as a chromosomes into a known solution as crossover and select between the solution called as selection. So this is what we call as the different operators used in genetics. I hope you understood something from today's session. If at all, if you have any doubt related to today's session, you can ping me on my email address ahmad_ali2u@yahoo.com, or you can come down to the college for a personal doubt clarification session. Until then, take care, bye bye, have a great day. Thank you for joining.